How many people out there have looked out the window and said, is this it? Is this my life? Is this all that I can account for? Like, really? Like the boring grind of day to day life because you've managed to plug the bleed. You've managed to sort out some of the financial issues. You managed to sort out the getting fat just about, and now you're just grinding, but you're not getting anywhere, or you don't think you're getting anywhere. That was me for years, years and years. And what I've learnt is, yeah, it's boring, but it's not a grind. It's what you need to do. It's what I call the second act. Now, the first act is it's all about your mistakes. It's your regrets, what you call your regrets. What right now you will look at and you will go, I regret doing that. I regret how I did this, or I regret how I spoke to that person. All these are regrets, but you need to stop treating them as regrets. Treat them as education. They are lessons that you have learnt. The fact that you regret them now means that you have learnt something from them. Always. For me, living in my car, losing my job, ending a 4 year relationship, being left out on my ass, it wasn't bad things. At the time, they felt like it. That was tuition. That helped me get to where I am now. Without those things, without those horrible things that, from an outside perspective, look mean and horrible, but without those things happening to me, I would not be where I am today. And what I'm saying to people that are watching this is you have got these things. They might not be living in your car, they might not be getting fired from your job, they might not be anything like that. They might be really like small in comparison. They might be huge, and mine look small on comparison. But what I'm saying is, to you, relative to you, these things are going to have a severe impact on your life. And you've probably looked back at them and go, I regret that, or you try not to think back at them because you're so embarrassed or whatever. But what is the learning? Apply this saying to every single one of those situations. Everything happens for a reason. If I didn't live in my car, if I didn't lose my job, if I didn't ruin that relationship, I wouldn't be with the love of my life. She wouldn't have rescued me from a horrible time where I was in my car and stuff like that. I wouldn't be motivated enough to sort myself out financially and choose to go into an IBA and put myself in jail for effectively 5 years in financial jail. I've done that because I need to better myself because of the lessons I've learned in my 20s in the first act. The second act is, yes, from an outside point of view, a boring grind, but it's not. It's motivation. It's thickening the skin. It's helping you to develop who you are as a man. What my point is this second act, you need to find your three pillars. So for me, my three pillars are health, finance, and purpose. Those are my three pillars. The health side of things, going to the gym. I've been going to the gym for 15 years on and off. And all I want to do in my second act is just consistent. It's just about consistency. The amount of times I've tried to go gym and I've tried to go hard and I've done the bro split and I've done push pull legs and I've done everything but legs. I've tried everything. I've watched countless YouTube videos learning the best chest exercises to do this. This will blow up your back. This will make your arms look ridiculous. All these things. We've all done them. We've all watched them. But yet we never take action. We think, we have this thought, this belief that we want to do something. We then decide we're going to go to the gym, but then we don't do the action. We make a decision, but that decision is normally where it ends. Sometimes it even ends before that at just the thinking stage. There's no consistency, and it's because we have unrealistic targets. We compare ourselves to everyone. You've got to put this behind you and consider that your first act. That's your first act. You don't compare yourself to anyone anymore. The only person you're going to compare yourself to is yourself. That is it. For me, with my three pillars, health being the first one, that is my anchor. That grounds me. Without my health, I feel like I can't do anything else. I'm in a relationship. How am I supposed to give my time and effort and attention to somebody else if I haven't got the energy to give it to myself in the first place? So, health is for me a massive anchor. Now, in my second act, what I've been doing is I've been testing the waters with different diets, and I've been putting myself through voluntary hardship. Now, voluntary hardship makes the hard times easier. That is a fact. By voluntarily putting yourself into hardship, when the hard days do come, I promise you they're easier. Now, you could go into all sorts of like literature about stoicism, um, and like how to be a man, this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, the more you put yourself into hard places voluntarily, when the hard times actually do come without you wanting them, you can manage them easier. So that's what I did. I put myself into a full on carnivore diet without any warning. I just went into a carnivore diet and I stuck to it. And I did 9 weeks of full carnivore diet on a budget as well. I combined it with intermittent fasting, even doing a 3 day fast at one point, and I can tell you now, I've never felt better. And I don't just mean physically. Physically, I was weaker in the gym because I had less mass. I was eating less. But in terms of my mentality, my clarity in my head, I was haze free. I was strong. I was committed. I was focused. I was like, it's like I had a battery pack plugged into my brain constantly, like a really powerful one. And it was just giving me energy non-stop. I slept harder than I've ever slept. It was gorgeous, like beautiful. The willpower I got was fucking awesome. People around me said I'm an idiot. I literally remember sitting at dinner tables with 20 odd people around me, and they're all looking at me going, "Are you sure you're not going to have some food?" I'm like, "No, it's fine," because they can't give me what I need, which is just effectively meat with no sauce or anything. And I'm not paying 20 quid for one steak with no sides or anything like that. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm on a budget. Like, that sort of mentality. And then you realize I don't care what people think. And it's not being rude. I just genuinely don't. It's about me. This is a me thing. I'm in my little bubble, and that's all I care about at this point. So I did that, and that helped me. It's helped me get my shit together, and now I'm in a position where my health is phenomenal. I have adapted my diets over and over again, and I would suggest any one of you, you need to try a new diet. And I don't mean just try the latest trend or whatever it is. I mean find something that's tough and just stick with it. Just give it 4 weeks and just be brutally tough with yourself and get it done. What you'll learn from that is tremendous. Like the things you will learn about yourself, about what you can handle, what you can take, it's just wicked. I've tailored the diet to my needs now. So I fast, I do intermittent fasting as and when I need to. I'm pretty consistent with it. I'm fairly keto-ish. I know when I can have carbs, but I don't count anything. I don't count calories. I don't measure my body weight. I don't do anything like that. I do not overcomplicate it. It is the most simplified diet there is, but it's just taken a few years to learn what I need to do as part of the grind, part of my second act. And I will swear by it. I see people every single day who are downing sugar drinks and are eating chocolate bars and all sorts of stuff like that because it makes them feel nice and feel good and stuff like that. And every single one of them moans about energy levels, moans about the lack of sleep, moans about the lack of focus, or they just talk about life as if it's just I go to work, come home, go to work, come home. That's not for me. I decided in Act One, that's not for me anymore, and that's why I'm in Act Two. My second pillar, the second pillar is finances. That's my stability, and that will build my future. Without finances, I am you're buggered. In a real world, people always have always said money buys happiness, and then they say, "Oh no, it doesn't buy happiness. It buys opportunities to be happy." Yeah, fine, whatever. I don't care about the details of that. What I want is I need financial freedom. That's what I want. I've told myself I will have financial freedom. I've told my partner I will get us financial freedom. However that looks, it will happen. I have been so careless with spending in my 20s. The first act of my life has just been a case of spend every penny I've got and other people's money. Taking loans out just so I can buy the latest X, Y, and Z. Like, it's ridiculous. It was just, for me, it was a computer game. It was oh, I'll take that loan just so I can play it. There was no consequences. I'm now 32 and I'm still like dealing with the consequences. And that's because I put myself into hardship again, put myself into an IVA. And for those of you that don't know what an IVA is, for all intents and purposes, it's financial prison for 5 years, maybe 6 years, depending on your circumstances. Now, it's better than bankruptcy, 100%. Bankruptcy, you are declaring you are fucked and you have got no money to pay anything back, and you do not want to do that unless you get into that position. But you lose all your assets. I had a car that was on finance. I could not lose that. I needed that for work. An IBA was my only option at that point. I could have kept all the debts and paid them off and then focused on the interest, the highest interest ones, got rid of that first, but I would have no money to feed anything. Like, I would be beyond broke. I just didn't have the money. When you get paid and the pay goes into your account and you're still in your overdraft at the end of the day you get paid, you're in a bad position. And I just couldn't maintain it. I couldn't cut the costs back. First act. In my second act, I chose to put myself through hardship. I have chosen to put myself in an IVA. I have lived in a car for 5 to 6 months. I've lived on the bare minimum and I've made it work. I've put myself through hardship. The IVA prison that it is, and I don't mean to try and sell it as a negative. It's obviously, I hope no one goes on it, but if you do need to go on it, it's so helpful. It gives you that structure and the sort of restraints that you need to sort of almost seize your life and get your life back on track. Now, an IVA does not trap you from ever saving money or spending money. I could still pay for Netflix, Disney Plus, all those sort of things to have a to be comfortable and have a nice time. I can still put £400 aside for food for me and my partner. I can still pay bills. I pay about £1,800 in my own personal bills as well as food, petrol, stuff like that. The IVA company doesn't stop me from doing that. It understands that I still need to live and I still need to do things, but it stops me from doing anything above that. Oh, I want the latest iPhone. Nope, not happening. Because I've entered an IVA agreement, so my credit score has tanked. So that means that I cannot get credit. Cool. I need that because at the time I'm my brain is too weak. I want the latest thing. Oh, I'm a bit bored today, so I'm gonna spend money. It stops you from doing that because it gives you it sets realistic expectations of you, puts you through hardship so that when the hard days come, you can handle them better. They're easier. So that's my stability. That's my second pillar. So I've got two pillars now. My third pillar is purpose. What is my purpose? For years, I thought I wanted to be in the like the rat race, sorry, and I wanted to climb the corporate ladder, get to the top, and earn big bucks that way, big money. I didn't think of the future though. I thought of the now. Oh, if I do this, I'll be this person. Wicked. And then, oh, when I get to that point, I can do this. Wicked. But I'm not thinking about the future. I'm not thinking about what's going to come up in the future. I'm not thinking about my pension. I didn't even have a pension. I'm 32 years old and I've got about 8 grand in my pension from that spans, I've been working since I was 18. Like, I just haven't contributed to my pension because in my head, why would I put money into a pot that I can't touch until I'm 60, 70? Like, I want to spend the money now. Why not? First act, thought process. Second act process, I don't want to be in the rat race anymore. The rat race is toxic, especially to men at the moment, I believe, in my opinion. Too many people are chucking their whole life into work for them to climb the ladder. When you climb the ladder, you get more responsibilities. You go, great, cool, more pay, excellent. Oh, but then they dangle the carrot in front of you, which is the next promotion, and you do that, and so on and so on, and you just keep doing that, and there's the next carrot, and every single step you take, and every mountain you climb, and every level you go up, more responsibilities, more stresses, more hours required of you. I want to live my life. I want to leave this planet when I'm good and ready in my 90s, 80s, and I want to have a purpose. Now, what is that purpose? I'm still figuring it out. I know, and I started to know back in the day, back midway through my first act, I knew I wanted to help people. In what way, I don't know. I have always worked with customer service environments, and so I've always wanted to help people in terms of resolving issues. That could be within a cinema, something gone wrong, I fix an issue. It could be as a manager, you have a staff member who's going through some stuff, and you sort of give them some guidance, and you have like a one-on-one conversation. Like I've always thrived on helping people, but I've never known how I can make a career out of that, and how I can be the other two pillars, how they can fit into this purpose. Because all well and good saying, oh, I'm going to be a good Samaritan, I'm going to do this, that, and the other. I don't care about money, and I'm not going to do it for money, etc. Right, but I still need to have something. I still need to have financial stability. I still need my health as my anchor. Purpose is the biggest thing that for me I'm struggling with trying to understand at the moment, and I think I've cracked it by doing the first two pillars and focusing on those two first, one at a time. Health was my first one, followed by the financial, and putting myself in these hard times. What I've done is I fully understood that I can help people by being myself, being authentic, and trying to help people not make the same mistakes as me. And that's where I'm at the moment. My third pillar, my purpose, that's the mission. That is the mission of my second act. So that my final act, once the second act is completed, the final act, I can sit back, I can relax, I can enjoy the benefits of all of the stuff that I've gone through. The first act, which is the educational stage, the second act, which is the grind, which is the hard times, the consistency, the commitment to doing certain things, the adapting, the changing my life, all these different things, the rebuilding effectively of my life, so that I can get to the final act whereby all of these things have paid off and now I can enjoy it. The goal being financial freedom, paying for my partner to be not having to worry about work and she can just stay at home, like stuff like that. Being in a physically healthy position whereby I can play with my kids one day when I'm 50, 60 and not be out of breath and I can keep up with them. Like these are goals of mine, to be able to travel the world or to see new places on the fly and not be restrained by a certain amount of days holiday that I get in a year because of a company. These are things that I want and I will get because I've decided that everything I do now is towards that. The second act is not going to be easy, but if you want it to be easy, then you're in the first act still. You do not hit the second act until it gets hard, and you put yourself in more and more hard places and more hard times. Once you start doing that and you start realizing you're in the second act, you'll start realizing you'll find a purpose. You'll find your purpose. Your first act was education. This act is the rebuild. So let's get motivated and let's get on with it. I'll see you in the next one.